Welcome back, fellow Gothamites. Welcome back, fellow detectives. Yes, this is Gotham TV Podcast, and we are looking at 13 Stitches, which is episode 6 of this final season of Gotham. Mm-hmm. And yes, we are going to go into a 3-point whiz tour of this episode of Gotham.
This was mental. We're doing our WTF points for YouTube, obviously, as we've been doing every week for the show. We're a little bit late this week, really sorry about that, but to make it up to you, we're going to have a very exclusive interview with a member of the Gotham cast coming up over on our main feed over on GothamTVPodcast.com and our podcast feed. That's where you can find all of our discussions and all of our interviews with the cast so far. This is a special one, a brand new one, but we're not going to tell you who it is until it's released, hopefully next week. This episode is just about our top 3 WTF moments from this episode of Gotham, Season 5, Episode 6. John, do you want to kick us off?
Well, absolutely. And dare I say it, what the Bullock moments, to be honest. Yeah. Remember, Gothamites, our full discussion is over on our podcast, which will be released shortly after this as well. Mm-hmm. You can just get that at GothamTVPodcast.com, and you can go to any good or evil podcast catcher. But our first one is Bullock gets a riddle right, to the chagrin of Enigma, to the kind of destruction of the plan to get rid of Eduardo's henchmen out of the GCPD. Yep. He actually manages to get one of Enigma's riddles in under 2 minutes.
Are you sure you don't want to take the extra minute to think about that, Bullock? I know you mentioned the shock of Riddler, the shock of the audience that, we have Bullock in the prison cell here going, hang on a second, something's coming back to me here from my old biology class. What is it coming back to? It's that he had to write an essay on this particular creature that Enigma has based the entire thing on, and he remembers this because, well, when Bullock gets punished, I guess it stays in his brain, right?
Yes, the pallid beach mouse. Mm-hmm. Yes, not seen since 1959. That's the thing that stuck in Bullock's mind. Yes. We love Harvey Bullock on Gotham TV Podcast, and so it was just a great comedic moment, and of course a great WTF moment, because this was unexpected.
Absolutely.
By Harvey Bullock and by Enigma. And of course, in terms of just the imagery of Enigma in that huge bomb suit as well, the Kevlar, just really funny. And plus the plan, I suspect, probably didn't go down too well with everyone at the GCPD who were behind bars and who were being held hostage. I think Ed goes something like, you have 2 minutes, and after that, I will be the only one that survives this. Mm-hmm. That's not a rescue plan, Ed. It's not a rescue
not
plan.
Not great. But what I also love is that little gag, of course, is that the staple code to access the briefcase was actually 0000, which is the guess that everybody would have, of course. But that is the answer to the question, because these things don't exist anymore. John, let's get on to our second one.
Yeah, number 2, Babs and Lee together with Jim again.
How many ex-fiancés does Jim Gordon have in Gotham? I love it. And both of them still in Gotham, which is great.
You can tell that Ben McKenzie directed this episode because, yes, his exes are there, fully present in Gotham. And, I mean, who expected any of this? Lee, she's chipped, she's primed, and she's ready for action to kill Jim, just in the same way as Enigma was. She was Walker and Eduardo's plan B. You have...
Now, that in itself would have been a shock, of course, but before the series started, we did see the promotional image of Lee Tompkins coming back for Season 5, so of course we knew she was going to be in. The one thing that is really shocking about it, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, was she isn't wearing that outfit that we have in the promotional photographs, which we thought was the connection to Ed, was she was wearing all green in the promo photographs, so we thought maybe she was inside Ed's head. It's not. It's the chip is in both of their heads, which is the connection.
Well, that's it. Cool. As soon as she started saying that she didn't remember the last 3 months, as soon as all that was happening, it was kind of like, uh-oh. Then we get the plan B. Yeah. Then we get her going slightly kind of robot-like at Jim. So, yes, it did seem to be like she was ready for action with the scissors to get Jim. But Jim, again, lovely move here with a taser to the head. That seems to be the thing that disrupts these chips. We see him with a defibrillator to the head for Enigma. Earlier in this episode,
which is fantastic.
It kind of looks like he's just cooked his brain. I did like the smoke coming off Ed's head there. But yeah, Lee is a hostage of Eduardo's to get Ed's chip back. So that's why she's back in Jim's life. And of course, the thing is, after she's recovered from the taser to the head, her chip no longer works. We get Babs coming into the GCPD. Kind of, you can see a little bit of the green-eyed monster here.
Well, yeah, I did like the kind of moment. I think she's actually more angry at Jim that she's pregnant, and she's just going to make as big a statement as possible. Remember all the fun we had over in that corner right there, Jim, a couple of nights ago? I'm now pregnant. See you later.
Yeah, and to be honest, the first thing that came to mind was, well, that was really quick. So either there was a time jump, a time lapse that went forward, or it is simply to get at Leslie Tompkins.
Maybe, but I do think this is Babs going, I know this quickly. She knows this quickly that it's happening. You know, they're going to move the story along as quickly as possible. This does mean we are going to get Barbara Gordon Jr. coming up very soon. You know, we had speculated right back to season 1 this was supposed to be the mother of Barbara Gordon. A character in the comic books, Barbara Gordon, the mother, don't get a huge amount with her in the comic books. We'd always said that the character was pretty much a blank slate, and boy did they use the blank slate in the 5 seasons of Gotham so far. They've given her everything. She's died twice. She's had loads of stuff going on. We never thought we would get the moment where the two of them would get back together and have a child. So what a great way to do it. You're in a city on your own, like Jim Gordon is. He hasn't had a girlfriend for a few months. Barbara Keane comes in and he goes at it in the office and impregnates her immediately. So yes, we have the daughter on the way.
Yes, we do. What a shocker.
What a shocker.
So yeah, Jim is going to be a father, and yeah, Crazy Babs is going to be a mother. So
she's
excellent
getting
stuff.
less crazy over the last few weeks, hasn't she?
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
But on to Crazy. Our third and final WTF moment is Eduardo gets resurrected by Walker, and we have the birth of Bane here. Yes, Gotham's version of Bane being resurrected from a huge bit of concrete ironwork straight through his chest after this huge battle of the two armies.
Isn't it interesting?
Jim and Eduardo.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? That's almost what killed Rick Grimes in Walking Dead this season as well, was a big iron rod through his back as he fell on top of it, which happens exactly here with Eduardo Durance. And we do get the recap. We get the Gotham recap of effectively Dark Knight Rises. This whole thing, which was kept to the end of the movie of Dark Knight Rises, where Bane is telling Bruce Wayne at this time, he's telling Batman Bruce Wayne that he survived in Peña until someone came and saved him from the darkness and released him, and he works for her. In this case, we have a very different name for that character on screen in Gotham, but she does arrive at the end of the episode.
She does. Walker, the person that Jim has been speaking to all this time, thinking that she was going to help him get supplies, effectively come and liberate Gotham eventually. She has turned up, and herself, she has been found out, but she uses some sciencey stuff, a mask, to create the gruff sound of Bane, as was portrayed by, within Chris Nolan's version of Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
And Bane, that kind of Darth Vader-y type noise coming through from Bane. So, yeah, good stuff.
We didn't hear him say Jim Gordon, though, in Dark Knight Rises. So, kind of cool that Eduardo Durance gets this little moment where he's kind of
really
connecting into the conversation with someone that we may recognize next week when we hear her real name, I'll say.
Yeah.
Walker's not a real name. If you know Dark Knight Rises, you're pretty much on track, I would say. You know what's really also very cool about this? Remember, Dark Knight Rises came out very soon before the release of the first episode of Gotham. It was coming in directly almost off the back of the success of Dark Knight Rises in the cinema. So it's kind of cool that it's going full circle back to that storyline.
It is interesting, isn't it? But there is also a lot more storyline going on in Gotham Season 5. That's our WTF moments for Episode 6.
Yep.
Remember, the full discussion is on our podcast over at Gotham TV Podcast, where we talk about Wayne Manor needing a bit of a dust. Obviously, Alfred getting kidnapped as well by a certain Jay character. So yeah, come on over and join us at Gotham TV Podcast.
Yes, and remember, we will have that interview up on GothamTVPodcast.com this week as well. Come and join it. You're definitely going to enjoy this one. And thanks so much for waiting for us. Sorry for being delayed this week. It doesn't happen very often, so I think we could be let away with it after 5 years, right?
I hope so. See you guys.
Thanks, Gothamites.
Bye.